Hello, hello. It is Friday night. September the 6th. Welcome to my desk. I'm feeling good. Derwin is here. Derwin the little dragon. Derwin the dragon. Yeah. And Penelope the pincushion doll. They're here to greet you. Tonight we're going to open some happy mail. We're going to look at what I got at the book sale. We're going to play with some slow stitching and some scraps. Work in my journal. Hi, Joyce. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Friday. It is the weekend. It is the weekend. Let me get out here to my channel and set things up while we're waiting for folks to come in. We've got 6 of you in here. Let me see. Hi, Darla. Long time no see. Well, if you were in one of my streams, I missed it. How you doing, lady? Joyce and Darla? Mary, I'm trying to slow stitch for the first time. Well, Joyce, knowing how you crochet, I think you'll do wonderful. You know, slow stitch is not hard. I wouldn't want to say I do wonky slow stitch, but if you like things a little bit neater and a little bit more professionistic, go for it. There's kind of more than one flavor of slow stitching. I have picked up the running stitch from I don't really have, I have a running stitch right here. I don't know if you can see it too well. These are postcards that I'm going to send out from last month's August swap with Beth Schuler. I did send out postcards, but these I am going to put in the box, in the envelope. I'm going to send out happy mail. They're going to get more. Hi, Angie. Welcome in. Welcome to anybody who's up in the balcony. Let me fix my chat filter to all messages. And let me fix the screen quality while... If you're up in the balcony, come on in and say hello, even if you can't stay for a long time. We'd love to say hello to you. Let's see, I want to go to advanced and 1080. So guess what I got today? Happy mail from guess who? Dee Dee. And I can't show the other side because it has her address on it. So we won't disclose it to the world, Dee Dee. I promise. I have to be careful cutting this, though. Come on, don't fail me now. All right. Let's look at what Dee Dee sent. Yeah, I have several things from Dee Dee, but I don't have... Oh, it's Alice in Wonderland. Oh, I love it. I was just thinking about doing an Alice in Wonderland series. You know, Johnny in one of the kits sent me an Alice in Wonderland book, the cover to it. And I was going to buy, there was another lady that she was collabing with, who was printing Alice in Wonderland printables, and I didn't have the money at the time, and I don't think I even had the printer at the time to do the printing. Look at this. This is awesome. Dee Dee does such beautiful... Let me zoom in just a little so you guys can see it better. This is awesome. How is that? Look at that. Dee Dee, Dee Dee, Dee Dee. And she signs it down here. She says, thank you, Dee Dee. Oh, Dee Dee, this is beautiful. Just beautiful. And look at this swish that she does here. It's an M. And what is that? Bo diddly or diddle dee and diddle dum? It looks like a chess pawn and Alice and the white rabbit with the tail. Oh, big old floppy ears. Here's the, I want to say the Wicked Witch of the West, but I don't think that's Alice in Wonderland. That's the Wizard of Oz. The beautiful mushrooms. Oh, Dee Dee. I'm going to have to message her and say thank you. Hi, Kitty Jen. Hi, Karen K. It's good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome in. Well, this morning, I want to put this someplace where I won't bend it. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. I think I'm going to start a journal of Dee Dee's, Dee Dee art, because I have several things from her. Some things are smaller stickers and things I put in my journals, but when she sends me something like this is just Dee Dee art. And I have several things of hers that could be in a little journal. So this morning we worked on, oh, there's the bird cage. I wondered what happened to that bird cage. We worked on autumn pages here. Pumpkin, and I could kind of color these, maybe with some watercolor, cornstalk and pumpkins, and they're carving a pumpkin here. I got a butterfly on the moon, little kitty peeking out. The bat, the boo, and the cat was from this. The cat, the bat, and the boo. There's a spider web there. So this was just fun to do this morning. And then I've got some extra little pieces. We're going to work on, I'm going to put this bird cage in my little drawer until I need it. We're going to work on, first of all, what we're going to do is look at the library books that I got. And I might finish another postcard tonight so I can get this. These won't go out probably until, well, I want to say next week. Midweek, mid-month. Darla says, hi, Karen. They're greeting each other out there. Karen says, hi, Mary, Joyce, Darla, Angie, and Jen. Welcome in, ladies. Welcome in. Let's start with the books here. I'll start with the two that I read after I came home. I limited myself to $20. It was on a donation basis. They didn't have set prices on the books. So now I'm going to have to zoom out a little. Let me adjust this so I don't knock it over. Let me zoom out a little because these books are quite large. See if that works. Tip it a little here. It was on a donation basis, and I told my brother before I left that I was only going to spend, I said, I'm only going to spend $20. I'm budgeting myself, but I wanted to go to the library sale, and he kind of laughed. Well, I did buy a package of Fritos. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. Is that too much? Is that, let me see what it turns out to be. There, I think that's good. This 10 I'm going to put up here so I don't knock it off. Maybe these two, because I'm going to be bringing books up to the desk. And let's take one of these. No, what did I do with them? Black pieces and... Come on, Mary. What did you do with them? Oh, they're over here. Hold on. I just want to hide the glare over here. It's glaring for me. I don't know if it's glaring for you. Okay. This is different than I thought it would be. I was kind of disappointed when I opened it up because they give a CD and they just tell you how to make different cards, which is okay for what it was. However, I got to looking at this, and this pops open. Ta-da! And the CD comes out, and what I'm thinking is I'm going to make this a tatting journal. And I'm going to put a black paper in here. I'm going to tat a snowflake or a doily or something for in here. And I'm going to keep the CD in there for now. And then I'm going to take out the, well, I don't have a CD player with my laptop. It didn't come with a CD player, so I'll probably alter that CD. When I put my doily in there, I will probably put the doily, which will be when a tatted one as thick as this, and close it down and then put black paper over this, because this has a hard time sticking down. I don't know if any washi tape will keep that down for now. We'll see here. Hold on a minute. Tear the little tab off and put it back on the roll. Let's see if that'll keep it for now. But it's just all cards and computer stuff, how to pull stuff off this CD. And that really doesn't interest me. I could keep things like this, get well soon, and, you know, I could keep little fussy cuts out of here. I'm not too interested in all of this. And I just grabbed it. I grabbed it without really looking on the inside. So that one is kind of a whole humbug, but I can make something out of it. This one is awesome. Hi, Becky. Becky, I saw your dresses from this week are just darling. Becky is doing Project Dress a Girl. She does such a good job, and the dresses are so sweet. I was sitting there putting little paper dolls inside of those dresses. She says, hi guys, I just got ready for bed. Well, Becky's an hour later, so it's 7:45 where she's at. She had a very busy day. Yes. I napped this afternoon. I came home, I was looking at books. I watched Becky online, and I fell asleep. But I was up early this morning. I got up at 3:30 this morning. Angie says, I love giving Dee Dee a hard time about sending me things in my address. I know, Angie, we can't send you anything. We'll send you good thoughts and let you sleep on it. 9. You've done 9 dresses now, and your goal is 12. So, it's 9:15 where she's at. I see what she's saying. It's almost 9:15. It's 7:45 here. Sorry, I just glanced at it fast. It's nearly 9 p.m. It's my bedtime, Becky says. Angie says, go take a nap, Becky. No, don't go take a nap yet. Oh, you can if you want. Let's see. Angie's here. Karen K is here. I think I greeted everybody. Joyce, Darla, Karen K. Welcome in, ladies. I got 20 of you out there and maybe about 7 of you talking to me. Shall I refresh my chat again? Chat filter, because this laptop does not display. But if you're up in the balcony, that's okay too. I was going to say, okay. There's Darla. She says, what time is it? That's what time it is where I'm at too. It's 9 o'clock where you're at, Darla. Joyce says, Angie, you should get a post office box so you can get Happy Mail. So this book I said I'm going to fussy cut out of it. There's no way I can fussy cut out of this book. Every page is awesome. Look at buttons. And I think for Inktober, which will be next month, I'm going to do buttons and button cards for Inktober. I think I will. I did, of course, I never get it finished. I never get 30 of them done, but I've done game pieces and pencil sharpeners. I don't know if I've done insects for Inktober, but I think I'm going to do button cards because I've got plenty of buttons. Look at this book, though. It's just an awesome book. Almost every page has a big color piece on the side. So, and then they give you a project here. Delicate clock linens. So what they're telling you to do in here is to stitch this linen in here, and they give some stitch. And I was looking at these stitches, and every one of these, except for this star stitch, K3N covered in when she did a stitch sampler. The back stitch, of course, the blanket, the feather stitch, the herringbone, the satin stitch is what one of our pages is now, French knot, the lazy daisy, and the stem stitch. And then these are what they're telling you to make here. And they're calling them clock linens. They're just little linens to put your clocks on top of. But these pages, I thought I'd fussy cut, but as I thumb through here, I'm going, I cannot fussy cut this book. What I could do is reverse collage in it. Here they're collecting by color. You can see these are all kind of a orange terracotta color. These are all greens. Postcards. This is just an awesome book. Handkerchiefs. I'm just thumbing through here. Glittered petals. Fresh photos and keepsakes. Look at that page. This is just an awesome book. So what I'll probably do is reverse collage in here, but I'm not ready to do anything yet. I just brought the book home. Look at these I call them half dolls. They're calling them, well, that's a crocheted edging here that they're doing. But here are the dolls. They call them dressed-in dolls. But these dolls, when they have their arms out like this, those when you buy half dolls or dolls like this, they call arms extended, and they can be quite expensive because over time, you know, you think of these dolls that were made in the early 1800s or late 1700s, probably some of them, and then they go up clear to the modern time. But over time, if they're an antique, their nose can break off, their arms can break off, and so if you find one in good condition, you can pay as much as $600 for one of these dolls. I don't know if they're dressed-in dolls, but I'm talking about, because I collected little half dolls. I have a collection in Madison of half dolls, and even the little half dolls, which are like 3 inches high, you can pay all the way from $35 to $40 for them. And most of them do not have arms extended on the smaller ones. But these are just beautiful. Old irons. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that awesome? I could do... Now, see, I could use this for inspiration and do a drawing or painting in that journal of this. I'm going to mark that. Here, I'll use this as a bookmark. Because that inspires me there. I could see that being an art journal page. But it just goes on and on. This book was, well, what I bought, I think when I donated it, I averaged it out to $2 a book. I paid $20 and I got about 10 books approximately. A couple magazines and smaller books. So, but this book was certainly worth $2. Hobbies and travel. Of course, they've got the seaside stuff, the fishing stuff. Look at these postage stamps. railroad memorabilia, all aboard pillow. See, they give you projects to do. And I'm not so interested in doing the projects because and then they get into the old-fashioned Santa Clauses. I've got so many projects. President's Day, these are holidays that they're doing. So, this book I'll cherish for a while. I'm not going to cut it up, I don't think. I may do reverse collage in it. We'll see. Got to find a place for it. Those two I had out looking. Then let's get this one out because it's nice and heavy. This is the first one I saw when I walked in there. American Indian Art, Norman Felder. Look, this book is at least, what, 2.5-inch spine? And you can see it was probably a library book. 2-inch spine. But look at this book. It is awesome, totally awesome. I don't want to knock you guys off on the floor here. This book was a gift to the Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center in memory of Jean Crawford, and it has withdrawn, 1998. It wound up in our little county book sale in our county seat. I think it was supported by the library, but I think it was not totally a library sale. I think there were other contributors to the book sale. Well, this is all text here. Let's get by all of they're documenting here's the introduction. The Plains Indians, the woodlands, Arctic coast, Southwest, Great Basin, California, areas of Indian cultures of North America. The woodlands are including the East Coast in the woodlands. I find that interesting. Scope of the book, Indian art. So this would make a great art journal too, but I'll probably won't do anything in it right away. Look at this. Awesome. And I think there are some color plates in here too. Let's just thumb through. Look at that. These would make fun pieces to put in an art journal too. Very primitive Indian art. There's a woven basket. I think the color pieces are on. This is inspiring. Beaded moccasins. Are those moccasins? That's what it says. A fine example of colorful, abstract style developed near the Kansas-Nebraska border. That's where we are, near the Kansas-Nebraska border. Only it's where my parents were. We're a little bit further north now. Look at this. You can't tell me that these people were heathen. They're just, look at this art. Look at this. They had an appreciation for color and style and from what they had available to them at that time. Look at this. That's inspiring. Beautiful pieces here. Just beautiful. Look at this. I could see doing a slow stitch piece of this with the wavy lines and the bird in there. I could see a lot of these do a drawing journal, a separate little book, and reproduce some of this. Just draw and study it like I do with the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it just goes on and on. I'm going to thumb through here. Beautiful. What's this? A brave. Oh, look, a lion. A corn husk mask. Looks like a lion head. Denver Art Museum. Collected by Dr. Frank Speck from Jim White. He's just, what's going on? Mask. When I was student teaching elementary school, one of my I teamed up with another. I had to team up with another lady, another student who was in elementary education, elementary art education, and I student taught. And one of the things that we had to do was visit an elementary school in Lincoln at the time and present a project to the kids. We had an hour. And I at that time was working on work study, and I worked in the film library. At that time they didn't have computers. They had film libraries, and this film library, what would happen is they had big old films in these big old tins, like probably antique now, but they were on the reels, and they'd check them out to the different schools, and we were responsible for packing them up and checking them out, and then when we get them back, we had to go down to the mail room and bring them all up in a big cart and check them in and shelve them, put them back on their place in the film library. So I was aware that there was a film on masks, and I had kind of an idea. I did not preview the film, and but I suggested to the student that I was collaborating with that we do and these were elementary kids, probably maybe second, third, fourth graders, maybe even younger than that, second and third, I would say. And we got the film going, and then we had to do an hour presentation, and then we had all these brown sacks. We showed the film, and then we had the kids make masks. And when I saw the film rolling, I'm going, oh, this is going to scare the kids. But they loved it. They absolutely loved seeing all the scary masks. And some parents were there, and I was really worried that the parents were going to, but the parents were, because the kids were just having a good time. And I go, phew. They're not scared. I think some of these masks are scary, but that really turned out well. And every time I see Indian masks and stuff like that, I think of that session at the elementary school. That was one of my more positive student teaching experiences. This is cool. See, I could see coming in here and drawing off of some of these. Look at that. I could even see doing some slow stitch. That looks like an apron of some sort. Tobacco cutting board, Winnebago. I think that's what this is. I don't know what this is. Does it say on the other side? It doesn't say. I don't think that's a cutting board. I think this is the cutting board. Oh, up here it says A Man's Hood, Tribe Unknown, Royal Ontario Museum, University of Toronto, Canada. Look at the color in there. So these are the kind of books I like. And this book probably was worth more than $2. But some of the magazines I paid $2 for, so it averaged out. This was a nice book, and it's a big book. It's a big old book, and it's knocking my tablet around over here. It's not going to knock you guys off on the floor. This is a fun book. I'll probably keep this out for inspiration. Look at this one. Where is it? Look at this. A toy cradle with pottery doll. So there's a pottery doll and a toy cradle. And look at this. This is a shallow pottery bowl. PIMA, diameter 6 inches, Denver Art Museum, collected 1893. The view shown here is on the inside of the bowl. Looks like turtles there. That almost looks like a insect of some sort. These look like turtles. I don't know what that is. Some sort of a creature. Looks like maybe it's upside down to me. And look at the design on that weaving. Look at, so they had to have a sense of style. This is beautiful. I like this. I could see doing a tatted piece. If Katia were here, she would go, Catherine wheel, Mary, Catherine wheel. Because it's a spiral. And it's wound real tight. And it goes around and around and around and around and around. And what I'm laughing about Catherine wheel is that that's one thing that we have worked with in our tatting design class. Where and this reminds me of a sampler here. I'm just thrilled with this book. I could sit here and get inspired with this all day long. But let's move on. American Indian Art, Norman Fetter. A big old huge heavy book. Where am I going to put these books? That's the question. That is the question I don't have an answer for. I'm going to put it down here for now with this big book that I got from Renee. I'll have to step over it. Then I got some smaller books. Some Time Life books. Wait a minute, I'm stumbling over some fussy envelope 18. Put it back behind me here. I like these. There was one on Russia, but I just got the one on France and Italy. And I like these Time Life books. These are just fun books. And I probably will cut these up and use the fussy cuts. But see, look at these kids at play. The verve of a timeless folk. Irrepressible energy and indomitable physical hardihood common to both young and old. And let's see, these books have to be older. They feel older. Let's see, it was published in 1961. So it's at least 40 years old, probably 50 by now, 50 or 60 years old. But look at this. See, I like these type of pictures. The gleaners here. This is Italy. They do have a color plate in there. The Turbulent Awakening. A Gusto for Good Living. Look at this one. That's awesome. That's an awesome picture. So that's the one on Italy, and this is the one on France. Same type of pictures. It looks like he's ready to go to war. Penelope, I'm going to set you up on your pedestal. What's going on there? I don't want to know. So I will probably fussy cut. Ooh, she's pretty. Ooh, she doesn't have much on though. But I will probably fussy cut these books and use the covers for, keep the inside pages and use the covers for art journals. So I got 2 Time Life books. I'm going to put these back in the box because I'll probably have to take the box upstairs because, yeah, and let's see, I've got a few other smaller books here. Let me just get them out. And I'll probably put that big book of art back in there. So I got an old time crochet patterns and designs. Not that I want to crochet, but I thought this attracted me. Fall of 1980. It isn't that old time. Here's Queen Anne. Queen Anne has washed her lace. She chose a summer day and hung it in a grassy place to whiten if it may. And there she is, Queen Anne's lace. There she's washing her lace. So, and it's all in kind of a newsprint paper. But look at this. Look at this. I could doodle off of that. I could cross-stitch that. Yes, you could. Let's see. It's 1, 2. Let me get my pencil here. 1, 2, 3. Well, let's count down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 squares to 8 sections to a little block. If I counted right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Most cross stitch have 10 to a block. 10 squares to a block. But no, this looks like it could be tatted. It's crocheted. It's Queen Anne's lace. I think it says Queen Anne's lace. But the reason I bought this, or I think I got another crochet one. I don't know if I brought it home or not. Is I thought it'd be fun to draw lace and get inspiration from the patterns in here. Draw them on the black paper. Something like this. Pillow pattern. Here's some teacups. So I even like the cover. And then this one probably won't interest you guys as much as it does me. Famous hymns with their stories and pictures. Let's pick one. Oh, Beautiful for Spacious Skies by Catherine Lee Bates, page 59, page 50. We'll go to that one because it's patriotic. That's 85, 73, 67, 61, 53. Oh, Beautiful for Spacious Skies. And then it gives the music, and then it says, in this glorious country of ours, there are so many beautiful places that it's difficult to choose any one that stands out above the rest. But almost everyone will agree that there are grander views, that there are no grander views than in the Yosemite Valley. Here there are spacious skies, purple mountains, waterfalls, and deep gorges all together. You know, and it kind of tells a little story along with the hymn. I think it might tell a little about the person that wrote it and composed it. I haven't really read it. This was a book. I had 7 books picked out, and I had to go back and pick 3 more to get 10. And I picked this one, this crochet, and this early American life sampler, which I thought was interesting. And it's just more about furniture and the, colonial type house. Colonial, how to make a basket carrier. It's made out of wood, it looks like. And then they put little baskets inside of it. Recipes. Apple slump. Blueberry Betty. Cobbler dough. Maine blueberry buckle. Blueberry dumplings. Blueberry grunt. Apple pandowdy. Raspberry fool. A pint of fresh raspberry sugar to taste, and a cup of heavy cream. Let's see, I like this type of thing too. She's peeling a basket of apples. So they had a stack. They had some cross-stitch magazines, and I thought about Becky when she brought home some cross-stitch magazines, and she was saying she could do the little pieces. And I looked at some, but I don't think I picked any up. And here's another. This is a hardbound Colville's American Collectibles. Now, I'll probably fussy cut this because I'm not really interested in, but see, there's a lot of fussy cutting, that color pieces that can be fussy cut in here. And I like collectible books, but a lot of them are in black and white and text like this. But this one does have, but I'm not going to fussy cut it right away, so never fear. Ooh, this could be a nice doodle. That's a fire screen. And the pictures aren't huge, but I could see cutting these out and putting them in a little small journal. Look at that Cupid doll. So cute. We used to get those at the Shrine Circus. I probably still have one someplace. They come on a little stick, a little Cupid doll, a little plastic Cupid doll on a stick. Toaster, old postcards. So I got that. That's worth it. And here's another one that's a soft color one. And it's got a little bit more pictures and stuff in it. But I'll be fussy cutting these. I'm not interested in the text and the prices and all of that. I'm interested in the pictures. And I could see doing a small journal and make these like little sticker things. Furnitures and old clocks and trays. Stuff like that. Put them in your journals. So those are the books I got at the library sale. That was fun. I enjoyed it. And then you'd be proud of me because they have over in the sale was over in our county seat, and every year they have this. It's not a festival, but it's called the Old Trusty Show, where they show antique farm machinery, and then they have a quilt show and a flea market, a craft show. You know, they have things for kids, and they have this book sale. But the people around town have garage sales. I bet I drove by 4 or 5 garage sales. I was so tempted to stop, but I set my limit at $20, and I spent it at the book sale. So I drove on home. I did buy me some Fritos. So I'll probably be taking these books upstairs until I get so inspired, because I'm getting limited room in here. Limited room. I'll keep that one. I'll keep the one that I'm going to reverse collage and the one with the computer disk. I'll keep those down here. So what's next, Mary? Gosh, I think what I'm going to work on next, let me come out and chat, but I think what I'm going to work on next is I want to pin some of these scraps, and so I'm not going to use them I'm going to use what I have for these postcards. But I pretty much cut up that piece that I had left. And so I want to start making some more scrappy pieces. And we might work in my journal tonight. But let me come out and look at chat first. Welcome in, everybody. I'm glad that you joined me tonight. Thank you for sharing a part of your Friday night with me. I appreciate it. Chat filter, all messages. Let's see who's in here. Beth. Hi, Beth. Did you see this, Beth? I'm still planning on sending out Happy Mail. I got 3 of these done. I've got another piece here somewhere. I got another piece that I'm going to do a 4th one. And I'm doing these as postcards that I'm going to put in the Happy Mail from last month. Because I did not get the Happy Mail sent. I've been playing with stuff. So you all are going to get some Happy Mail from me. I did not join the September swap. This I'm going to mail out as a part of the August swap. I did send postcards, but I want to send some Happy Mail. And I got such nice Happy Mail from the folks that... And I already had this piece. I've cut off of it. I think I did a Sharon... It was about... Add another 4 inches on here. And another couple inches over here. Maybe about 1.5 inches. And I just cut it. And made postcards. I glued these down this morning. I need to print on the back of it yet. But it'll get done when it gets done. Welcome in, Beth Schuler. Thank you, Beth. Angie says, hi, Kathy. Hi, Kathy Whitney. Welcome in. It's good. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. Hi, Lisa. Lisa. Hello, hello, lady. Are you streaming again now? Are you streaming on Monday afternoons, Lisa? I never quite know about you and Tanya anymore. I've noticed that Tanya has started up her streams on Sunday afternoons. But have you started streaming again? Beth says, I'm telling everyone to add hand process on all of our mail. Oh, really? What happened? Did something happen that the mail didn't come through? Angie says, Mary, I'm cold. Can you send me a blanket? I wish I could, Angie, but you don't share your address, so you're going to have to crawl under the rug or something. It is getting cooler, though, isn't it? We had a nice cool day today. I'm waiting for Elisa to answer me about her stream, if she's going to start streaming. I've missed her on. Lisa says, I'm planning to stream on Sunday because Tanya will be out of town. I'm going to try to start again. I just need to find a good time to do it. Well, when you start again, Lisa, let us know so that I can. I'm never quite sure when I make the announcements. I said, if she streams, she'll, you know, I give your Monday afternoon time as the most, that's the most recent time I have for you. But I know that you've had family to deal with and everything. Was it your stepdad that was ill? All right, let's go on. Let's see. I would love to. Hopefully I can soon, she says. What was? Hi, Bethy. Lisa, let's work on our Nomad book soon. Nomad book? What's a Nomad book? I want to know, Beth. I probably won't do it, but it sounds interesting, a Nomad book. Lisa says she's doing pretty good today, Beth. Thanks for asking. It's good to see you. And there's Debbie Epps. Hi, Debbie. Welcome in. Debbie just retired from teaching, I believe, teaching art. And she wrote a book that's out on Amazon. And Debbie, I'm going to make you a mod. And if you want to drop a link, you sure can. Let me make you a mod. I trust you. Standard moderator. She wrote a book, and I think it's still available on Amazon, so if any of you are interested. But welcome in, Debbie. It's good to see you too. Sharon Lombard is here. Are we going to sing, Mary? I don't know. I might. What shall I sing? Oh, the hymn book? Star Spangled Banner? Oh, say, can you see? That's all you want to hear from me. Laura Jersey. Hi, Jersey, Laura. Welcome in, Jersey. Jersey was doing a sugar fast, a 40-day sugar fast. How is that going? I see your thumbnails, but I never quite have time to watch the videos. Beth says, Mary, Mary, Mary. Kathy says, I think of hymns as being religious interesting. Well, they probably have a couple patriotic ones in there too, because they sing them in church services. But I like to read the stories behind the hymns. And you know, I picked, every year they say pick a word for the year. But I picked a life word, and my life word is triumphant, because I figure I have had a lot of struggles in my own life, maybe not so many now, but knock on my glass top here. But when you stop and think about it, you can't experience triumph unless you experience the trial that you're going through, that you're going to have victory or triumph over. And when you have triumph, you know, you go, yay! You know, you defeated the trial. But I have noticed, the reason I brought this up is that word triumphant. What I did one year is every time I saw the word triumph or triumphant, I would circle it or highlight it, or I didn't really keep it. It just caught my attention. But I noticed in a lot of the hymns, and that's why I'm talking about this, a lot of the hymns have the word triumphant in it. And I didn't notice that so much in the hymns and everything until I chose it as my life word. Triumph or triumphant is my life word. What is a hymn? Oh, that's a hymn. Oh, she's saying the Star Spangled Banner. Well, they sing the Star Spangled Banner and God Bless America, and it depends on what service, what church you go to too. But a lot of the Protestant churches, especially around the 4th of July and, more as a patriotic thing. Those churchgoers love their country. Let's see, Angie put a % sign or something there. Lisa says, hi, Kathy, that sounds yummy. Kathy says, hi, guys. I just popped some steak nachos in the oven. Ooh, that does sound good. I had to use up the leftovers from the steaks. Ooh, that sounds good. Yummy. Katia, there she is. She says she does know I'm here. Hi, Katia. Oh, there! Did you see the Catherine wheel that I talked about? That Indian design. It was really nice. I thought, man, that could be a Catherine wheel. I'm going to have to practice my Catherine wheel a little bit more. I need to get out and do the butterflies. We had our tatting class last Wednesday, the meet and greet. I'm excited for tatting to start again. And while we're here talking about that, I want to mention that Becky is doing on Monday afternoons a knitting, and she said it's not a class, it's just where they get together and knit. So, I mean, she isn't presenting a class, but if you have questions or you can just talk about whatever you want to talk, it's just a get together, but it's centered around knitting. And she's doing that on Monday afternoons. I think it's at 2 Eastern. It might be at 3 Eastern. You'll have to, if you're interested in that, you'll have to get with Aunt Beck's Creations. And let's see. And Lisa, if you're still listening out there, I sure have thought about you because this week, K3N Cloth Tales, who I'm following for Slow Stitch this year, did a needle weaving piece. And it's very interesting because it's weaving. And I notice as I'm weaving, and no matter how I try to make it loose, my weaving is drawing in like this. And so but we're doing it on a piece of fabric. I should bring it in and show it to you. I've got my, out on the community tab, I have a picture of my start. But you warp it up and down and up and down on a piece of fabric, which I found to be very difficult because I'm just using 2 pieces of cotton fabric sandwiched around a piece of felt to make it sturdy and easy to handle. Well, it's easy enough when you're warping it to put your needle down and know where you're going. But coming back up, I'm going. And even though I marked off a line and I put little tick marks, I had a hard time getting my needle spaced. I wanted to do them I think I was shooting for 1/8 of an inch, but I gave up on that because my needle was, I could see where I was going down, but I couldn't see coming up. And I think I tore that warping out at least 3 or 4 times. I started it online and it was crooked, and I was about 3 rows in, and I took it all out, and I did get that straightened out. But I have some wider warps, and over on this side, I've got some real narrow ones. And I'm noticing, I'm kind of glad I did it because I'm noticing what happens when you do that. These pieces over here that are more narrow, that are closer together, and these are wider apart. When you get 10 rows in of your wefting, the weaving going back and forth, these will be tighter because those threads want to draw tight, and these are looser. They draw in, but not as tight. And so, and then the other thing that she does in her example, and I'm trying to follow her example, at the end of every row that she comes through, she puts in a stitch through the fabric and up again, and then starts the row back and puts in a stitch and goes back. And that's really nice because it anchors the weaving down. But my piece is like 2.5 by 4.5, I think. But these warp threads are fairly long pieces, and they're really loose. And I found out 2 things. I quit using a needle. She showed to use a needle, just a darning needle, a needle that will hold whatever size thread you're using to weave. And I started using my tatting needle because the width of what I'm doing is only 2.5 inches, and that tatting needle is at least 5 inches long, if not, probably not 6 inches long. But I can work it through the threads, through in and out and in and out, without pulling the thread through. And then when I have it, what I think is right, is not always right. I have a hard time seeing it too. Then I can pull the thread through and then push it down. And I also found it easier. You guys are just listening to my experiences here. I found it easier to weave it up here and push the thread down rather than to weave it all and work up. If I weave it up here, it gets tighter in here and it's a little bit harder to handle. If I weave it up here, where it's, or not up at the top, but in the middle, and then push it down, the threads are looser and it's easier to handle it. And then I found out 2 other things. Because I'm working on a piece of gray fabric, that French fabric, that French text print that I found at the Goodwill last week. I washed it and I just cut off a piece. Well, some of the threads are hard to see against that gray. It'd be easier against a white piece. So I took an envelope and tore it down to size and put it through so I can see the threads easier. Then I noticed that the threads cast a shadow. And a thin thread, a shadow. You can see the shadow of my finger here. We'll pretend my finger is a narrow thread, and that's a narrow shadow. And especially if you're using a darker thread, you want to you want to include that in your weaving. And it's not a, you know, of course, you know, we're seeing a shadow here, but if it was a piece of thread, if it were, that's white. I don't know if I have anything that would be a good example. Yeah, see now, that's casting, for me it's casting a shadow over here. Where can I hold this? Like this. See, that's a shadow. And pretend this is a narrow thread. And I'm going, oh, I have to weave that. Well, you don't weave it because it's a shadow. So I'm kind of struggling with that. And then I do have that white paper under there, but way up at the top, because these warp threads are really loose, I put a piece of painter's tape over them to kind of hold them steady while I'm weaving through. So I'm learning little things that work for me, but I'm still, and if you look at that on my community tab where I've started, you can see where it's starting to go in. No matter where I have my stitches, it must, you know, I don't feel like I'm pulling it tight, but I must be pulling it too tight. I'm drawing it in. So I'm trying to go out again, and it'll go, I'm trying to go like that. Curvy. But it's, I don't generally do this type of thing, and it's taken me a while. I was going to bring those pieces in and show you, but nope. Let me refresh again. I get off on a little rabbit trail here. Let me go down to all messages again. Kitty Jen's here. Hi, Kitty Jen. She says, the church gave the chickens, not the dumplings. It was the last of the holiday baskets because the church gave for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and the chicken and stuff was brand new stuff they bought. Lisa says, I have never woven on fabric, but I do have a large darning loom that I've been wanting to play with. You have a desktop loom too. You know, I know Lisa weaves. She spins and she weaves. And in fact, I started a weaving project with her that I think I'm going to take it completely out, Lisa. I learned my lesson, start small. When you're learning. I mean, this is a great big picture frame. I still have it at the point to where I left it when I was working with Lisa on, when she was doing a weaving class. She was showing different threads and different ways to, different weaving techniques. But I think you have a tabletop loom, don't you, Lisa? She said, I took mine out too. Angie says, be right back. There's Goldie. Hi, Goldie. She says, hi, everyone. Did I miss the books? You did. You also missed, for those who just came in, Dee Dee sent me some happy mail. Look at this. Look at this picture. This is Alice in Wonderland. I just love it. I just love it. And I have several this size that Dee Dee has given me. I think I'm going to start a Dee Dee journal. I do. I think I'm going to start a Dee Dee Willingham journal. I'll have to, Dee Dee has gifted me, she gifted me some birthday money. Let's just say I used that birthday money at the book sale. I haven't got it yet from YouTube, but I've already spent it. That sounds like Meri spending money you don't have. But when you donate to her, she always sends out happy mail. I just admire her so much. I just can't keep up with her. She's just so inspiring. I can't keep up with most of you. That's my problem. I try to keep up with all of you. Isn't that awesome, Becky? Isn't that awesome? Isn't that gorgeous, Jacqueline? Debbie says, one of the teachers I worked with made seed bead loom using cigar box and monofilament. Now, see, that sounds interesting. A cigar box, she obviously took the lid off, didn't she? And she used, I could see using a cigar box for a loom. But this is weaving on the fabric. And if you watch K3N's video from last Monday, it's the most recent Monday video up, you will see she did a beautiful piece. She did beautiful. And I'm going, I can do that. Well, yeah, I just told you all my struggles. But it's okay to struggle because that's how you learn. That's how you learn. And I should have done, because my page for my stitch journal is like I work on pieces that are 4x7. Well, if I would have done a small piece, I would have had to do 2 small pieces for it to fit on here. But instead I did, 2.5 by, I don't know how tall I made it. I think 4 or 4.5. And, and I'm weaving crochet weight, 10 weight thread through that. And you can use other threads too, but that's just what I'm using. That does sound neat, doesn't it, Goldie? Lisa says, I have a couple of rigid heddle looms that are used in your lap, resting against the table. Maybe it was a spinning. Was it spinning? No, I think it was a loom. You showed it when you were doing your, I don't know, was it you have something that sat on the table. I can't imagine it would be a spinning. I think it was a table loom that you had. I don't know. Maybe I dreamt it. Let's see. Jen's was talking about the church gave chickens and dumplings. Let's see. Lisa said, I've never woven on fabric, but I do have a large darning loom. I read that. Angie's welcoming people. Jen says, by chance, does anyone have good recipes for whole chickens? I don't care for chicken. I'm not a chicken eater. I think of that old hen that jumped on my back. It wasn't a hen, it was a rooster, and I never could eat chicken after that. But I don't even care for turkey. I don't care for meat, period, anymore. I'll eat some meat, like when we go out, have a hamburger, I'll eat that. But I don't eat it regularly. I because of my kidneys, I've stopped eating red meats altogether. Of course, chicken is not red meat, but although we did have salmon tonight, I eat fish. My brother likes to get a fillet of salmon. We were going to eat it last night, but he was tired after we got home, and I was tired, and we cooked it. He cooked it tonight. Zucchini. That's what we had for supper. I'll eat fish. Some fish. I will eat tuna, but it's not my favorite. I like salmon. I'll eat white fish like cod or halibut. I'll eat that. I don't care for the breaded fish that you get at the frozen packages. I don't care for that. Fish sticks I don't care for because you don't know what's in them. What part of the fish is in here? So let's see. Jacqueline's here. There's where I'm up to where Debbie dropped a link to her book. Or she dropped a link to, let's see, was it her book or her channel? Oh, she dropped a link to her channel. So scroll on up and go visit Debbie. I want to finish reading my chat here. Let's see. Let me go up here. I left off where Debbie dropped that link. Debbie says she's streaming Saturday afternoon around. Is that going to be a regular time, Debbie, for you? Saturday afternoon around 3 p.m. Eastern. Let me write that down. Saturdays are good days to stream. I filled my sheet. I'm going to transfer this to my notepad. So I have it both on my notepad and on a piece of paper. I'll print it off. Let me write this. Debbie Epps. Debbie Epps. Saturday. Is that 3 p.m. Eastern? Did I miss it? Where was that? Sharon says, I'm looking for another book to work in. Any suggestions? Whatever you work in, make sure it's something you enjoy. That's my suggestion. Let's see. Let me get this. That said, Debbie is starting to stream again. Where did I see her put in the time? Streaming Saturday afternoon around 3:30 p.m. Eastern. 3:30 p.m. Eastern. When I read these off, like I usually do it on Sunday nights, I'll read off what's coming on Monday. Tuesdays I'll read what's coming the next day. So this is Friday night, so I'll probably read off your Saturday stream, Debbie, when I get to. Well, this is getting quite tattered and used. I like to grab for it though when we talk about streams. I like to announce the ones that I know about. There's a lot of them that I guess or I don't know. Let's see. Jacqueline's here. Kathy says, I didn't know they returned it to the center. What in the world? What did return to the sender? Angie says, we still have the air conditioner going. I haven't. What are we talking about? Oh, the mail service is wanting everything to go through the machine. Any bulk kicked out, they are returning mail back to the owners. I did not know that, Beth. That is why Beth is telling everybody that when we send Happy Mail to write hand hand cancel on it. Do they charge any more for that? I think they might charge a little bit more when you write hand cancel on it. Or some bulky mail, they just send us packages. A lot of mine ends up being packages because I can't stop. Your guys, what I'm putting in for making up for last month, I'm putting several things in there that are not huge bulky, but bulky enough to make it be sent as a package, not an envelope. It won't fit their little envelope thing. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, they're talking about streamlining the mail services again. I don't know. I struggle with it because we're out here in Nebraska and we're out in the boondocks, and our mail to go across town has to go to Omaha to process. And I don't know, she might hand cancel a little stuff here, but I don't think she does. Like when I mail a postcard to myself, it goes off to be... Oh well. Beth Schuler says, I'm telling everybody to put hand process on our mail. Yeah. So I'm back up caught with you. Let me go back down to the end. Let me refresh it again. Chat filter, all messages. Goldie says, oh cool, Deb. Yeah, that is cool. Goldie, they have a new platform that makes uploading ebooks easier. I think they're talking about Amazon. I got a message from Amazon because I have Prime, but since that person tried to take almost $80 out of my account by fraud, the bank canceled my debit card, and the very next day, my Prime bill came in, and it wouldn't process because they have my debit card. So they sent me a nice little email saying, you have 6 days to fix this. So I'm hoping my new debit card comes soon. I guess you can always sign up for Prime again, but oh well. Goldie, they have a new platform that makes uploading ebooks easier. Lisa says, yes, they charge more. You can get stamps that are specifically for hand canceling, I think for small envelopes. Really? I did not know that you could get stamps for hand canceling. That is good information. I'll ask about that at the post office. That's good information, Lisa. Thank you for sharing that. I was thinking about putting the chicken in my digital crock pot, Jenny says. Jen is cooking chicken. Debbie says, I hate it when I add all the notifications and YouTube turns them off for some reason. I don't know why YouTube does what they do. It confounds me. But I like YouTube because I get to meet all you guys for free. Well, it's not totally for free because I have to have a webcam or a phone, and I have to have service, so it's not all for free, but at least YouTube. And here's this, you guys that do StreamYard, and I think this is pretty reliable information because the lady who I watched the video from, I trust her. She used to be a Google employee when they had all their Google, before Google got rid of all their Google Meet and whatever. Not, they still have Google Meet, but their Hangouts. I would always go to her when she worked at Google for information because she's quite knowledgeable. And she comes on Sunday mornings. You can get on her name is Peggy K. And you can get on her email list, and she'll send out a little newsletter or an email saying what she's going to talk about on Sunday morning in her live stream. She deserves to have hundreds of people in her live streams, in my opinion. But it's a nice live stream, and she doesn't talk so fast and technical that you can't understand, and she covers all sorts of social media platforms. But I was listening to her, I believe last week, and she said that StreamYard, I did not know that the original StreamYard was sold. the people who originated it, which turned me off completely because they didn't have a business address, and I wasn't going to send money off if I didn't know who I was dealing with. Well, and also when I signed up for it, at that time, they've since changed it, but at that time I got a warning from my web browser saying these people want to read all your email and delete and add and everything, and do you really want this to happen? I'm going, no. And I put up a fuss about it at the time, but that's all changed. I think they realized and corrected it probably pretty quick. But it turned me off, and I was wary of them because I couldn't find a bit. Now, this is when they first started. I couldn't find a business address for them. And, you know, and kind of wary, even though they're smart. You know, they do have a good platform. But they sold it out, she said, in like 20 something, the late teens or the early 2020, something up in there, in that time frame. So the original people are no longer, were at that time no longer owned the company StreamYard, owned by another company. Well, now this company is going to sell it out to another company. This is upcoming. And this other company is known for buying product and raising the prices. So just be aware if you have a professional or have the pro version of StreamYard, whatever it is, not the beginner stuff, not the free stuff, you might expect them to raise the price on it. They'll probably tell you they're improving the service. I really do wish YouTube would have bought it. I think YouTube made a big mistake by, well, it was Google. It was Google that did it, that dropped the Google Hangouts. I like the Google Hangouts. I wish YouTube would have bought StreamYard. Then I probably would have used it, but I could never get StreamYard to work with my phones. It seemed to do okay one time, or she said it was okay, when I went into a chat with, the bunny rabbit lady. I can't remember her name now. Randy Parks. Randy Rabbit. She was on one night, and I went in and just she was just chatting one night. And that was and she didn't have a problem with it, but most of the time when I tried to join StreamYard chats, my phone just buzzes and makes all strange inaudible noises. It just disrupts everybody. And it doesn't do that on Google Meet for me that I know of. So I like Google Meet. I don't really do much on it. I also have participated in Zoom meetings when it's appropriate. I'll go in on Zoom. But StreamYard, I just can't. It doesn't behave for me. So, but those of you who have StreamYard, you might be aware that there might be. Go listen to Peggy K's, and I think she does chapters in her description box. Go listen to her Sunday video and open up the description box and look for something about StreamYard. I don't know if she has that as a chapter, but she said that they sold out again. And she said when this company sold it to the most recent company, the original guys tried to buy it back, and they wouldn't sell it to them. They couldn't meet the price that these people were asking for, so these people over here bought it. I don't know. I might try it again now that another company's owner. I'll give it a few months. Now that another company has owner with it, if they're going to make any improvements, they might improve it enough that... Debbie says, I like Zoom better than Google Meet. I think I do too, Debbie. I would Zoom when I haven't recently, because I'm so busy, I haven't been going to any chats at all. Anne has a Thursday chat, and Renee Suzanne has a Friday one. And I, like today I went off to the library, and I generally nap after my morning stream. So, but we used Zoom when I was going to my St. Louis Stitcher crowd down in St. Louis. they met via Zoom. And that seemed to work for me. But I have used Google Meet too, and yeah, I think I like Zoom better too. Lisa says she's got to go. It's good to see you, Lisa. If you get streaming again, you let us know if you find a good time that works for you, because we miss you. Bye, Lisa. Debbie says, I can't get YouTube Studio to configure for me, so StreamYard was perfect. Well, I don't know if you can use, I don't know what you mean by YouTube Studio to configure. You might be talking about the little interview session that they have. They have a free chat out there on, let me go there on, I won't open up a stream because I'd probably knock this one out of the water, but I can show you on here. YouTube, go to my channel, let's see, me, and if I hit that little plus sign, I can, I don't want videos, hit the plus sign, I can do a video, a short, a live, but when you do a live, well, I don't see it here. I don't want to start it because I'm afraid I'll knock myself out of the water. I think when you do the live, it prompts you to do like a little, they call it an interview chat, but you can only you can only have 2 people on at once. It's not like you can have a group of people like you do with StreamYard or Hangouts like that. It's a very simplified, and I was so excited when I heard that they were doing a replacement for Hangout. But when they uploaded this, I was so disappointed. So disappointed. And my own thought is that YouTube itself, see, the Google Hangouts was actually supported by Google itself, and YouTube used it. Well, when Google shut down the Google Hangouts and what did they call it? Their chat area, I forget, Google Groups, they closed all that down and they took away, YouTube lost their access to the Google Hangouts. Google still has Google Meet, and you can do free Google Meets out there, but most of it, Google Meet, the good stuff is for businesses and stuff like that. I like Google Meet, but I don't use it that much. I've used Zoom more, but I haven't used anything recently. I haven't been out chatting with a lot of people as much as I used to. I hardly get to watch streams anymore. Debbie says, I don't use the phone, so it's in the settings for live that wouldn't set up. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I could see where it would probably be in the settings for the live, because that's where, when I showed my phone and when I showed the live, I didn't want to hit it. But if I would have, because I'm afraid it would have tried to start a live and knock me out of the offline here. But what if I would have hit live, you would have seen the setting where you just invite one person in. It's more of an interview type if you want to interview, but you can only do one person at a time. And I think they have to have, maybe it wouldn't work for you because I think it's all mobile, Debbie. I think that's why it won't set. I think that you have to be on mobile and the person you're interviewing has to be mobile. I think. I don't know. I've tried it once. I used it once, the interview thing, just to see what it was all about. And I was disappointed, so, it's no big deal because they sent out a survey on it, and I said, we wanted something like Google Hangouts where you could have 3 or 4 people on there. But my thought on this is YouTube does not have the technical expertise. They would probably have to buy a product, like StreamYard, which was what I think that they should have done. I would use StreamYard if it went through YouTube, but, and you know, YouTube has gone through a change the head person, that Susan, whoever used to be the head. Um, she's no longer in charge. There's a man in charge now. And so Angie says, I feel like I'm a dummy in chat. You're not a dummy. Well, you're not a dummy, Angie. You just know different things, that's all. Goldie says, me too, Angie. You guys aren't dummies. We're just talking how to do group chats. So, you know, I have these scraps here. These are scraps from recent projects. These are some safety pins. So what I want to do, I don't want to... Oh, did I bring in my... Yeah, I did. I'm not going to slow stitch. I'm just going to pin something similar to this type of thing. And then after I pin it, then I'm going to do based stitching. But I need, and this is really cool because I need a base fabric. I think I was going to use, I think I'll use this here. It's not as wide as, but let's see how wide this is. The length doesn't matter, but the width does if I want to make postcards. It is, well, it's 3.5 at least. About 3 3/4. I don't know. I could use, there's some more scrap. I could use this, might be a little wider if I, yeah, maybe I'll use this as my base fabric. And of course it should be pressed, but if I just pin that stuff on there, it isn't going to work because this is all going to be background. I think I'll turn it upside down. And there's quite a bit of it. I don't need all of this. And I think I'll cut the hem off. Let's see. The hem. We're just going to go to there. Well, maybe I'll include that rose. And then let's just tear it this way. And let's put this back. I'll use this for like a meditation, or I could do a postcard on that, but let's put that back up out of my way. And all I'm going to do is sit here, and I could press this, but I'm not going to fool with it because by the time you handle all of this and stitch it, it kind of works itself out anyway. And I can press it after I basted on there. But all I'm going to do is start taking pieces here. Like this. This I've already done running stitches in. I need to start out with some little pieces. This is silk. This is nice. I love this feel of that. I want some little pieces that aren't. Well, of course, I grabbed for denim. Let's see. Where's that? Here, like this is what I'm after. And this is the back. This is the front. So all I'm going to do is start. I've only got about an hour left here. I'm only going until 10. Let's see. Did I get everything else I wanted to? Oh, I wanted to finish covering that card box with that tissue paper, but I'm on to this now. We'll do that another time. I'm trying to get my, these are new. Are they taped down? Can't get the thing open. Come on. Why aren't you opening? What am I doing wrong? Is that the hinge? Maybe I need to open it over here. No, this is the hinge, isn't it? Come on. There. And all you do here, and like I said, I should probably press it, but I don't want to take the time. I'll press it after I baste it. is you just take pieces, and I'm going to make some of these smaller because I want to make postcards, so I don't want huge pieces. And you just start putting them down. Now let's cut some angles. I don't know if that'll tear at an angle, but like I could put it like that, and see if that will fit. I want maybe that other piece. It's too big. Too big for me. Let's just cut off a... I kind of like odd shapes when I'm doing this, so I just kind of whack away at it. Let's put it this way. And then you just take your pins and you pin it down, and then you go in and you do a hidden basting stitch. And I have learned when I pin stuff like this, I pin it, and if I have that point out that way, it's more apt to prick me, and I'll just try to hide it between that fabric, and it's not as apt to prick me when I'm stitching. So this is what I'm going to do for the next hour. I don't know if it'll take me an entire hour. It probably will, because I work slow. I'm not fast at this stuff. So I went to the library sale today. I limited myself to $20. They did not have as many art and craft books as they usually do. I think they probably their source probably dried up, or somebody got wise to... I think I'm gonna put that... No, that rose is on the back. We're gonna cover it up. I could leave it out, but no, I'm gonna cover it up because I want... And I don't want this piece on the back of it there. And I just pin stuff down. Let's see what I have here. This is some more of this. This is kind of thick fabric. Let me tear a piece. This is that text fabric from... I found they made curtains out. This was like Paris fabric. I've got it looped through my scissors. And somebody had made a curtain out of it, bought a couple yards and made a curtain out of it. And it was hanging there with the curtains and bedspreads and whatever at Goodwill. And I brought it home and I took it apart and I washed it. And I'm using it in my slow stitch because, see, that's got text on it. I don't know if you can see the text, but I'm going to cut some little pieces here. I don't want big pieces, and I don't want square pieces. I want odd shapes. And I don't throw any of my scrappies away anymore. I put them all in this tin, but I need a bigger tin. Don't swallow the pin, Meri. I've never heard of people swallowing a pin, but I guess it happens out there because recently I've heard more about it since I've been slow stitching. Don't swallow, put the pin in your mouth. So pinning this and putting it together gets a little consuming, but after you get it all basted, the basting part is the most fun, to tell you the truth. For me, when I sit down and baste all these pieces together, even though I have pins in it, it's relaxing. And what I usually do is I'll do the outside of the entire piece first. I'll base stitch all this together, and then I'll pick an area like this area, and I'll baste it down, and I'll take the pins out as I go, and eventually all those pins come out. I got a lot of this dark blue because that was a sheet. This is what I was looking for. There's a lot of smaller pieces in here. The white, well, that's not so small. And you can rip it if you so wish. That's even too big for me. I'm going to rip it in a rectangular shape. And then I sit here and go, do I want it on top or do I want it on the bottom? And when you're basting, you know, I could put it on top and have a nice square line. But when you're basting areas like this, you got to baste those points down. I'm going to put this on the underneath. Like that. Let's see, let's go for... Now this is what K3N would call a Trixie fabric. It's a polyester silky thing. It's kind of, well, it's kind of hard to stitch on. Got another red square. That's more of that white. And some tan. Here's some tape measure. Let's just put that. We don't need that whole piece. And I like to run things across other pieces like that, but it gets a little hard. You have to be careful because it gets a little hard to stitch on several layers, and you know, you need to see where you're putting your pins, because sometimes I cover up my pins and I think I have them all out and I start stitching and oops, ouch. Shall I zoom in a little? Let me tip my camera. I think I'm working down at the very base of my desk for you. Let me tip my camera. Let me zoom in. And so you can see it a better. Well, still kind of hard for you to see, isn't it? Is that better? That's better. All this pile of scrap here. I got scrap. Do I have scrap? Now this has got interfacing in between it. I'm going to pull it out. This is the border of those placemats that I did my journal. And they got, because this was the backing and that was the front. But I'm going to put it like, I'll put it like that and let that seam lay there. Throw this interfacing away. Let's put it at an angle. I like to angle things. I love my diagonals anyway. Here's some text fabric. We'll do something with that. Pull that out. So by the time I get this whole piece done, I need to do the Wonky Wednesday. She did a house, and I need to do it because she's going to embellish it next Monday. And I always do the Monday pages. The Wednesdays I do if I have time. Well, I don't have the time, but I've got to. I'm not going to put that one in there, so I put another piece on. It's got some gold here. Let's put it right over that, under the tape measure. Well, right where the pin is. Let's put it that way. And here I am playing with this. It won't take long to do a house. I'd like to do the house where I'm in now, but I'd commented on her video how fun it would be even to do an art journal. I'm going to cut off all of this stuff here. To do an art journal of all the houses that you lived in. And I was chattering about that. Was it this morning? I was chattering about it when I was doing that t-shirt yarn, and Becky was trying to catch my attention, and I was living in all my houses since I was a kid, but inspired by K3N's project. And I think that would be a fun art journal, because I can remember all the rooms in most of the houses that I've lived in. I don't know. Except for when I was a young baby. The house down in Belvedere, I was probably 2 or 3 years old, and I don't remember those. I remember the front porch. I dropped a piece. Probably a good piece that I want. Where did it go? Is that it? It was a white piece. Let's put this. That's really, could put it over here. I'll have to think about that piece. And this is all that. French. Here's a little piece of blue strip. Now, what else do I have here? Ooh, I love this. This is walnut dyed. I find even when I walnut dye something, now I did not wash it after I walnut dyed. This is how it came out of the dye bath. But it's a little hard to stitch through because it draws those threads together. I find my needle, this is felt, I find my needle resisting a little bit through when I dye with that, any dye. Well, of course, I don't do a lot of dyeing. Let's see. I got some butterfly or dragonfly butterfly fabric here. Kind of cute piece. Cut off one piece here. And the other thing that when you do these, put these together, you need to be sure that you overlap enough that you don't leave a little gap in there. I think I've done okay here. I think I'm gonna put this piece up here. No, I've got it overlapped enough. Where do I want to put it? Let's just put it down here. Down a little bit more. This way, I guess. So if you have scraps like this, if you're of a mind, don't throw them away. At the very least, bag them up and offer them to some slow stitcher. Becky sent me a whole bunch of strips. I still have them someplace. She sent me strips from her quilting. There's a birdhouse. The birdhouse, we're going to leave this birdhouse all in one piece. Here, and he will actually go good right in there, and I'll overlap him enough to, maybe I should pull it over a little to the edge. I've got to catch this. And like I say, when you pin these, make sure that your points go between the fabric. They can still catch you, but they're less apt to poke you if they're in between the fabrics. And I'm not ready for that yet. Here's some black strip. That's pretty cool. See, that's part of the background. I could just put it right along this, right along the, I kind of like that. Let's pin this tape measure down a little more. He's wanting to pop up on me. There's a pin under there. No, that's the seam. Now, before I pin that down, I might want to put something under it. Here's some tape measure fabric that I dyed. Now, this I think I dyed and washed, because you can see the difference between this piece that's been, this is walnut dye, and this piece that I didn't wash. So even when you wash it, a little bit of the dye will come out, but it's a nice, pretty color. Walnut dye, though, is permanent. Once you wash it, it's pretty permanent. You aren't going to, unless you Clorox it. And I have my own experiences with Cloroxing. Some blue, or greenish blue hanky. A hanky piece in there. Put that down in there. Do I want the whole piece? I don't think I do. Let's cut at a diagonal here. I don't know if it's a hanky. It might be a table scarf or a napkin. Let's put it like this. Now it's going to cover up my bird fabric, but I'm going to put my bird fabric. I like that. And you just keep going like this. Use up all your little scrappies. And then baste them all down, and then you can stitch over them. On my postcards, I did not stitch. These are just all basted down here. Let's see what the other ones were. I only stitched on this part, I think. But K3N will stitch, like doing running stitches different ways. But I didn't get that far. I did a needle booklet for Sharon Lombard because I owed her. I owed her big time. I sent it to her when I sent the Santa Claus off. And I had done slow stitching. This is kind of not as good as what I did on that needle book. This is kind of in the rough here. But I didn't stitch on these. I figure they're pretty just the way they are. And this one, I'm going to put that bird cage up there. And even though it's a postcard, if she actually sends that through the mail, if I were her, I would take off the bird cage. Unless you hand cancel it. All right. And I think I like this black piece. I think I'm going to put it this way, but see, I've got a bare spot there. Get a little piece here and put on there. Right in here. Right in there. I never did this type of thing until I started following K3N Cloth Tales. She just inspires me all over the place. What is under there? Is that a pin? No, it's the... Got the pin in my mouth. Let's pin this here. I got it tied. There we go. Now, this down, but I'm not going to pin it down until I put whatever I'm going to put here. Let's see what I have. Where's that text fabric? I had some text. Here it is. Some type writing. Let's put it this. Don't want to put it there. Let's put it under. Now let's bring that down. I don't want to slant it the other way. Like that. And then maybe we're ready for some reddish. I don't have too much reddish. I've got, whoops, that's Derwin. I've got this red piece. I'm going to have that black. What did I do with my black here? I'm going to have this going here. So I can bring this down a little. And here's some red checked. Let's see if I put that black here. I want this sort of like that. I still need, oh, I put this down, hold on. It comes down that way. Like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Hold on, I knocked another piece off. I'm always knocking stuff off with my hands. What I knocked off, it was, oh, Blue Generation, it was a tie. Do I have any more down there? Nope. I got one of those little handheld steam machines, Bissell ones, a little green machine. I want to get in here and do the carpet. All right, I got some brown here. Do I want to tuck it under or put it on top? I'll put it on top. And there's some more of that silky. Is that the silk? No, that's just a tie. Yeah, I'm knocking off. What did I knock off now with my hand? A fairly large piece. Oh, it's a white lacy piece. Some more of this red. Let's put that. Let's put it like that. Okay, let's pin this because I think I got enough. No, I need a piece in there. This is that silky too. Here's a part of a rose. Let's put that right here. We could even put, no, do I want it on top? Maybe I want it. I don't think I want it there. So you get to looking at what you have. Now this is more of that polyester, but it's a little bit stronger than that other that I had in my hand. I think I'm going to put it in here, under here. And I'll let the fringe hang out. Probably snip it off after I've stitched it down. Let's get it under these pieces. Really, you should roll up your sleeves when you do this. Your hands will knock them, but your cuffs of your shirt will knock it around too. All right, I think I can stitch. Let's cut this off. Come on. All right, let's not stitch, I mean pin. Pin this down. I think I'm happy with the way everything is placed on here so far. Get under here. I'll start over here. And you should see the arm of my recliner. I should take a picture and put it on my community tab. It's like a pin cushion. And I got embroidery threads, and when I'm working on a piece, like I'm working on a page and I have extra threads, I'll pin them on there, or I'll stitch on a scrap piece and pin that scrap piece on there. So when I get down to the end of a needle, and I'm done with my stitching and I have thread left on my needle, I'll finish it off on a scrap piece. I'm working on a seed stitch, square piece, about 4-inch square, and all it is seed stitches that was of the ends that were of my needle when I did those satin stitches, which are supposed to be orts anyway, but I find that my ort pieces become orts because I don't have a lot of, I use up my orts as I go. I sew them on scrap pieces, if you know what I mean. Got a postage stamp there. Now I can put this down in here. Come on, get in there. Pull it down a little bit further. And you need to make sure these overlap enough, or I need to make sure in my head, because I don't want to leave little gaps between the pieces. But if I happen to, I'll just put another piece over it. I'm almost done. I'm about, what, 2/3 of the way through? What time is it? It's 9:26. I'll be done pinning this by the end of the stream, which is a good, because that was my goal. I wanted to also cover that card box tonight, but I got to looking at those books. And I'm not really seeing chat right now because I'm busy pinning. When I'm done, or let's do this gold piece. See, I'm using bigger pieces. I started out with the smaller pieces. Let's go back to small pieces again. I need small pieces, Mary. And I don't like sharp angles. I'm going to blunt that off. It's just easier to baste around a piece than... And I don't want it huge. Let's see, let's go with the dark color again here. No, let's do it this way. Let's see, do I have enough pins in there? I don't think I have this piece pinned. See, this tends to squirm around on me. That polyester. I'm going to see if I can't pin it in there. It's really like a lining fabric. And I think enough, this is pinned down enough, except for this piece. What else do I have here? It's a nice piece. I think I'll cut it this way. So this is something I can do online in a chat stream, because you see how I place things together. It's more of a something that can be watched. When you actually get to slow stitching, I think it gets a little boring to watch people stitch. Just now, Catherine, she's not boring to watch, or Marion's World, the people who demonstrate the stitchery, because they're chatting about how to stitch or what to do next or something like that. But when you just sit here and pin, I'd love to put that just like that, right across. It's a pretty big piece, but I like it like that, so I need some stuff under it. That's just white. I'm going to put that in there. I don't want just white. Put the lace. I don't want lace on there. This is kind of like a woven fabric. It's green, but it's got a weave to it. This is like a cross-stitch linen. I think I'll save that for something else. I got a lot of this because this was a sheet. This was a nice sheet. I ripped it all up. I bought a set for my brother, and they didn't quite fit his bed, so I said, I'll use it in my stitching. We can use some of this. Of course, it's a strip again. We'll use it another spot. Let's do this. We don't want it there. We want it. Here's some more of that kind of a linen. I'm not going to use that. This is that text fabric. There's a piece of red. The strippies I could use to couch if I wanted to. We'll save some of the strippies out. I don't want white, just plain white. Here's some more of that border. That could actually go down here at the bottom and up at the top. That's what I'm going to do with it. Look how this moved around on me. I had that tucked under. I had it tucked under that. Oh, it's still tucked under, but it's coming. I guess it's okay. I'll cut it off in the end. We're going to put this. I'm going to cut this off and put part of it up here, because it's the border of those placemats, and it'll kind of border this. Of course, I'll be cutting this up anyway, but I like to have it there. And what's this? What did I do here? Tucked it under. Goes like this. I think I'll put it on the back side, like that, and pin this onto it. Where's my pins? And I can take this one out and move it over here. Oh, you aren't seeing I'm out of shot here. I'm putting this border piece on the back and pinning the tops to it. But this will probably all get cut into different pieces in the end. So even though it's a border piece here, it may be, I don't know what it'll be in the end. Now I like this, and I like this strip, but I'm working on this area right in here is what I'm working on. And I hate to say I'm running out of things that inspire me. It's a little piece of gold. I don't know. These little pieces I saved because I'm going to snip them off like. I've got a lot of this. Throw some of it back in. I don't need it all. And that's a strip. And another strip. And a piece of lace. I'm not going to use the lace on it. There's that flower. I could use that flower now. Let's put that flower here. Or floral. It's a part of a flower. Whew, I'm getting hot. I'm going to turn the fan toward me. And when I first turn this fan on, there's some pieces I can use. When I first turn that fan on, it's cool. It's almost too cool. And I turn it away from me. But as I work here, I get hot. Where's my pins? I want to be zoomed in so you can see this, but I think I might have gotten out of frame a little. Sorry about that, if I did. Now I've got some green. That's more of that blue. I got some of this green plaid. I like that a lot. Let's see. I want to save that off. I like this a lot. I'm going to put it, it's quite big. Let's cut it in half. Let's cut it along here. And I don't like the little pieces like this. It's hard to stitch around. You can, I mean, you just have to take extra stitches, but I blunt them off. I'm going to put it like this, I think. And I'll put it right over these others. Maybe tuck it under that one. I like that. Up into that a little. A little piece. Some felt. Kind of a dark blue felt. I'll save that. It doesn't fit on here, but any place, but maybe. Let's see what else I have. I got some more of this linen. I don't want to use that. I'm saving it for something. Some strips. Again, that I could couch on. I'll put those on later. There's a tag from a Better Homes and Garden. Made in India. This, I think, is from those placemats. They were made over in India. But what I like to do with this is I'll cut those tags off that are uninteresting because they're, and sometimes if you open up your tag, sometimes you have a nice white piece underneath. But I don't like a solid white on here. But I'll save that for something else. Maybe a meditation scroll. Here's a little piece of black. Where do I want to put that? I don't want to pile this too thick. It's hard to stitch on. I'm going to save it off. I don't have a good spot for it. Here's some of this brown again. Let's put it down in here. So I'm getting pretty close to the end, if I'm boring you. I'll zoom out when I get done so you can see the entire piece. But I want to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. And here's that piece that I cut, that corner piece. And it's got this border on it, which is pretty. But I don't like to put that border on underneath of anything, because you put a piece of fabric over that, you feel like you got a pin or a needle in it. Let's put it. I don't like that point. I'm going to cut off the point. And it's kind of blunt down here, but we'll make it more blunt. I'm thinking I'll put it underneath this piece and then put something underneath of it. And I'm getting larger pieces again, which would be good for running stitches. It's easy to put a lot of running stitches on a larger piece. On a small piece you're working, depending on what you're doing, but I started out with those small pieces at the top, and then I seem to get larger. But I'm getting down to the end of my scraps here. I have a lot of strips that I saved off, and a lot of little pieces that I'm gonna do a Janet Nash with. I call it a Janet Nash because that's where I saw it. This is some of that text that will be good for maybe up in here. Let's put it underneath of those. Pull it over a little. Tuck it under. Right like that. So I got just a little bit left, maybe about 6 inches. But that goes fast with these pieces. What time is it? 9:41. I'll have this done by 10. And let's put some more of this green that I cut off here. Let's put it underneath of this. It goes right like that. And then I need some more of that red. I don't want to forget my red. Let's put that like this underneath, like that. My pins are getting buried with strips. So if you're a sewer and you have a lot of strips, this is a piece of drapery. I think I'll put it on where? Down here. It tends to ravel though. I think I'll leave it off. Oh, there's some embroidery floss. We don't want that. Little pieces, little Janet Nash pieces. Little scrappy pieces. Whites, I'm not going for the whites. I got a little strip of stars here. Let's put that. Where am I going to put my star strip? Knocked something off again. Let's put those stars in here. Yeah. I have pins there. Right on top of those pins. There we go. Now let's see. what I say. I got this silky piece, but I think I'll save it for something. It's not saying to me that it should be on there. Some more little scrappy pieces. I call them Janet Nash pieces. This is a blue strip. These little, now this one's not too bad. I could see putting that on here somewhere, but I don't know where. It's a piece, thin pieces here. Oops, that's my... I'm going to put this again on the bottom. Put it there so I don't forget. I'm just about done. These can be used to couch on. I like this, because this is a nice contrast. I'm going to keep that out. I'm going to throw some of these dark blue pieces back because, and I can use this for couching if I want, but I have a yellow piece, make a nice contrast. So I'm going to use these as couching. Oh, I want to use my tape measure piece here. Where am I going to put that? I tend to want to go at diagonals. I like my I'm going to get those off. I like my diagonals a lot, but let's run this tape measure up and down. Snip it off here. I'm going to have to dye some more of this. I got more of this. It's white. It was originally white. You can get this at pretty easy at the quilt store, the tape measure fabric. I got some red. That's another strip I don't know about. And these little pieces I'm throwing back in, I'm going to have to find a container just for the little snippy snip pieces. Gonna keep that one out. Tape measure fabric. These are my couching ones. Here. See, this is an example of a piece where I don't have a whole lot done, but I had this thread left on my needle, and I just started doing running stitches on it. In fact, I think I'll use it. And I think it would be fun to work up a bunch of these so that when you're doing something like this, you can work up. It's a little bit harder to work on a little piece like this because it's, you know, you kind of have to work on a bigger piece like this. You can handle it better. There's that tie. It says Blue Generation tie label. Let's see, where do I want to put this? I'm just going to cut this off. Let's put it in here someplace. Maybe way up at the top. And I don't want that's too white, but look, I've got some orange here. Or gold, dark rust color. I like I don't have a lot of reds on here. Let's take this off. It looks like I have stitched this down. Basted it down. Let's cut a piece off. Where am I going to put it? In here. Let's put it way down here at the bottom. And I need a pen. No, that's, see, I need to make sure I overlap enough, otherwise I'll have gaps, and I don't like the gaps. So I got one more piece to put in there. And I think I'm going to put this in here, but I need something underneath of it, that blue. Or, that's not the blue I was looking for. Here, this blue. I don't know if I like it. Let's put that on top. And tuck it under there. I need a wider piece. And this is just going to be kind of backgrounds to fill any gaps. And then I'm going to put this tape measure fabric down this way. Now I just have a little here to deal with. I like this blue, this light blue. I'll put it down here like that. We got a gap in there. How about a piece of this walnut? This is walnut dyed too. Let's cut a piece off. And let's put it in here. Put my tape measure fabric right there. I kind of like that. Now I got this little strip here. Oh, and let's use this there. And I think I'll pin this and I'll be pretty much done. I'll have to trim off the edges a little. The couching. I could couch that too. So it's basically taking these scraps, and it looks like a crazy quilt, but it, I mean, because it is kind of using scraps, it's kind of crazy quilt style, but I don't call it crazy quilt. Something inside of me doesn't want to say it's crazy quilt. So I've got a pin there. Save those pieces out. Just let me pin these down. What time is it? It's 9:53. I'll be done by 10. I'm timing it just right. Let me throw some of these pieces back in. That could be a... No, I don't think so. So look, I still have a tin full of scraps. I need to save one of these borders out. Did I throw it in there? No, not yet. Here, this one goes on the back. I still have scraps. This is my scrap tin. I need to get a bigger one. Next time I go thrifting, I'll look. The Nebraska Junk Jaunt is coming up at the end of the month. I'm wanting to go so bad. I didn't go to any garage sales today because I'm going to the Nebraska Junk Jaunt at the end of the month, and I can't bring everything home with me. All right, I got to cut off a couple pieces, but I'm going to pin this to the back like I did this one up here. So I'm going to pin it right down in here just to kind of balance it, kind of making a little banner out of it, sort of. I may get there when I'm stitching and say I don't like it and take it off, but for right now, it's going on there. And most of these are cotton pieces, so it won't be hard to stitch through. If it were denim or drapery fabric or, you know, something more bulky, it'd be a little bit harder to stitch through this. But I was thinking when I layer this, sometimes when I layer it, it gets a little harder to stitch through, like I've layered this down here. Now I got a piece to pin in there. The pins kind of pucker it up a little, but when I baste it, I kind of straighten it out. This pin's kind of puckering it. Let's pin this down. Now I'm going to turn it over. There's some pieces hiding behind it here. Where did I pin that in there? Hold on. Those are my couching pieces. What pin is that? Right here. I think it's this one. Pin that back. All right, so what I want to do is turn it over, and I'm going to press it after I baste it. I'll press it so these wrinkles, but I want to cut these pieces off here. You could leave them on, but I like to cut them off. It's where I get all my little pieces, my little Janet Nash pieces. Didn't do very good because I couldn't see it. It's dark. It's dark, Mom. Doesn't matter, it's just the edge anyway, but kind of whacking away at it. And cut these. This off here. Come on. Cut it at an angle. I do better cutting when I'm standing up. I feel so cramped when I'm sitting down here. Now, this I'm going to pin. Temporary pin it. Because it's on the back side. Well, I guess I can pin it and leave it. I just don't want to cut my scraps too short because that was folded in on it. So let's cut these pieces off. Get a hold of it. Can't get a hold of that little piece. Let's do this one. Oops, cut some of the fabric. Let's see what the other side looks like. Oh, it's okay. Now I'll baste all of these down and they'll lay nice and flat against each other. The basting does wonders on it. When it's pinned, it kind of puckers and everything. That's that piece there. Let's trim this a little. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm certainly not getting it. This one doesn't want to behave. Now, I'm not sure I like it right in here. This piece is down. Doesn't quite meet that piece right there, just on the edge. I think I'm going to pull this white piece. It's pinned up here. Because that's long enough that it can cover up that kind of a little gap in there. And in there. And let's repin this over here. I'm just putting some extra pins in to hold it because when I stitch it, I'll take the pins out as I stitch. But you know, see, like this, it kind of bounces up on me. So I put extra pins in here to kind of hold it together while I'm stitching. Once this pin isn't in good, it's poking me. Okay, what else? Right in here. And I'll be taking these pins out as I go. Let's put it this way. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. I need to zoom out a little so you guys can see better. I'm just securing things down there. Let me zoom out a little. I'm sorry. You have hitchhikers? Thank you, Lala. What about, let me come out and look at chat. Did I zoom out enough? I didn't zoom out enough. Here, let me zoom out. How is that? So you can see the entire piece here. Let me put some more pins in this. I like to pin it so when I get stitching on it, I don't have pieces popping up on me. When I'm placing it down, you know, I'm just kind of tacking it in place. But when I get the stitching on it, I don't like the pieces popping up on me. So I put quite a few pins in it. But as I stitch, I pull the pins out, and the more I stitch, the more comfortable it gets. Let me turn this. I don't know if I like this there because it kind of sturdies the piece, but it's awful bulky. Oh, we'll see. Put a pin in here. So I just like to have it so I can handle it while I'm stitching without the pieces popping up too bad. These are awful close to each other. I'm going to have to put another piece in here. I don't like them when the edges just meet. I like to have a little bit of overlap. But I'm going to have to put another piece there. What do I have? Those are my... I got some. We'll use that. And these pins can slip out on you, so you got to be careful. I found them in my rug. Luckily, I've only stepped on one needle recently. Not recently, but since I've started slow stitching. And it hurt. It was right between my toes. Ouch. So I'm pretty careful. I will check after I do stuff like this and make sure no pins have fallen off. They can fall out and fall on the floor if you don't get them in there good. Alright, I think I'm happy with this. Let's turn it sideways again and let me come out and see chat. And then these, I'm saving out. Let me get it off here. These I'm going to, you can twist these and couch around pieces. These I'm going to use for couching pieces. We'll see. I'm keeping them out for that purpose. I'll close up my pins, put it back in this little bucket. And I think I'm done for tonight for artwork. Let me come out and look at chat. Oh, it's 10 after. Well, I'm close to 10. But here's the piece, and I'm going to baste it all together like I do the... I need a pin in here. Hold on. I'm not done yet. This will keep me busy for a while. But like I said, the basting is so relaxing for me. Getting this little case open is not relaxing. This little thing should open up here, and it doesn't. Come on. This is the hinge over here. How come you're not opening for me? Do I have to push in on it? Yeah. I just want to put some pins in here. See, this piece I dyed. Well, I did wash it, but I found that pin kind of difficult to go through. It was better here. Is this folded up? No? Okay. Maybe one more pin in here. There we go. And I'll sit and I'll baste on this probably when I should be working on something else. Let me refresh my chat. Chat filter, top messages, chat filter, all messages. Jen says, ouch. Barb says, beautiful. Thank you, Barb. Fill in. Lola says, I agree. Hi, Sylvia. She says she loves spending time with you. I like spending time with you too, Sylvia. Sylvia left me the nicest comment. Let's see. Hi, Teresa. She says, good night, Mary. Good night, friends. Good night, Teresa. Sweet dreams. Happy weekend. It says, you have hitchhikers, Mary. Hitchhiking on the back of my fabric. Ouch. That one went through. Where is that? Right? Is that this one? What is that? That's this one. See, I don't like to go clear through the back. I try to get those pins to go between the fabrics. You don't see many. Most of these, now this one kind of pokes through. I don't like those pins poking through to the back because that's what hurts when you're basting. So most of them, you pin it through and then put them between the fabrics. And then they don't poke you as bad. That one poked through, that other one that I said ouch on. Now see, this one needs a pin right here because it's flopping around on me. Let's take this and pin these two together. Right here. And point that pin, the point of the pin between the fabrics rather than letting it come out the back or the front. All right, let's see. I was reading chat. Lala says, reminder, please hit the bell, subscribe, always like. Thank you, Lala. We appreciate the thumbs up and the shares and the comments. Sylvia says, you're never boring. I hate to disagree. Sometimes I bore myself, Sylvia. Oh, I got some earring hoops here. I thought it would be fun to use to hang stuff off of. I think that was in my little tin with some embroidery floss. Let's see, what else is going on here? Becky says, good night, everyone. Good night, Becky. Sweet dreams. She reacted to, she reached to do the, I reached to poop, oh, to poop to party. She says she reached to poop to party. Becky's been working hard on her project Dress-A-Girl dresses. She says, see you all later. I'm pretty pooped myself. I had to go at 10 o'clock. I'm just a few minutes late. I'm just saying good night to everybody. Barb, fill in. I don't know if I even said hello to you, Barb. Let's see. Lala says, my Fur baby Buddy's spoiled too. He's a small dog and sleeps between us. He takes most of the king-size bed, but we sleep on the edge. Deb says, I have a full mask and I always hated to explain my mask leaks are caused by my cat rubbing up against the hose. Oh dear. Angie says, okay, my PJs are on and I'm under the covers, sheet, blanket, quilt, and a throw on top of me. Angie's cold tonight. Mary, don't put those pins in your mouth. Too late. I don't swallow them though, Angie. She might be in bed by now. Teresa said she won't be chatting much. Her fingers are not working. Oh, Teresa, please take care of yourself. You need fingers. You need fingers. I'll say my prayers for you, Teresa. She might have gone by now. They're saying hello to her. I miss saying hello to her. Andy says, Goldie, I wasn't calling you a dummy. I'm sorry. Oh, Angie, I'm sure she wasn't offended. Crafty Jen says, I know, poor cat. He was even trying to take a nap on the collapsed boxes until I took them outside. And I can't go up any further. So, I want to say good night to you all. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow's Saturday. And was it you, Debbie, that's going to stream on Saturdays? Debbie Epps, didn't I write it down? Saturday around 3:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you're around Saturday afternoon, around 3:30 p.m. Eastern, you might check on Debbie and see what she's doing. She does wonderful art. Also, Beth Schuler tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Am I missing anybody else on Saturday? Friday, and Wednesday. I've got Saturday crossed out there. I got Beth. Tuesday. Stacy says 10 a.m. Eastern daily. See, am I missing anybody else on Saturday? Art Junkie, 3 p.m. on Saturday. She was on today, too. Art Junkie. I think I got everybody. So have a great weekend. I will see you Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. And I'm going to try to do my doodle deck. I might do a couple of other things too. But I want to keep up with my doodle deck. I have a whole bunch of cards to sort out over there. Sort out and figure out what ones are missing. So this was fun to do. What else did I do tonight? I don't even remember. What did I do tonight besides I showed the art books mostly. Showed the art book, showed the DD Happy Mail. I think that's all I did tonight. It's a short stream night for me. Yeah, the doodling deck. I'm calling it the doodle draw deck now because I end up drawing a lot. Okay, everybody. Good night. Have a super duper weekend. Go do something to make yourself smile. Bye.